got to be America's team. This got to be America's team. America loves a team that.
And even if he thought it was true, which I have a hard time believing, but I guess he does think it's true, why would you come out and say this? Because you know the backlash that you were going to receive, especially from people like me. And what's going to happen is it's going to make people hate Michigan more than they already do. All right, look, I'm just going to come out and say this at the very beginning of this video. I don't know what planet Jim Harbaugh thinks he's living on currently, but it can't be Earth. I think Jim Harbaugh, when he said this, that wasn't the real Jim Harbaugh. This was the multiverse Jim Harbaugh that was on Earth like 3 or 4 or something. He had to get switched out with the original Jim Harbaugh that's been here the past couple of months. If you don't know what I'm referring to, there's this whole conspiracy theory, and heck, you see it in Spider-Man and even in The Flash, that there's different multiverses. Like, for example, we're on Earth 1, but there's also an Earth 2, an Earth 3, and Earth 4. And on Earth 3, you got Matt be great. I'm still a real person, but I could be fat and lazy. You just never know. The possibilities are endless. But my point is, in saying all that, I'm getting a little sidetracked here, is this Jim Harbaugh that currently said what he said can't be the real one. I'll put it to you like this. Harbaugh has flat out lost his mind. We're going to talk all about that, but also we got to talk about the breaking news that came out. So we all know Jimbo Fisher got fired, but another head coach in the SEC just got fired. It seems like this might be the start to the domino effect, where we're around that time of year where a lot of head coaches, they're getting the boot. This new head coach that got fired wasn't the first, and he most certainly will not be the last. I wouldn't say we got a jam-packed video for you Monday night, but we got 2 important topics to go over. All right, Matt, blah, blah, shut the crap up. Now without further ado, let's get into it. All right, so first things first, we got to talk about the breaking news that came out earlier today. Mississippi State's head coach, Zach Arnett, has been fired. I know some of you sitting there saying, Matt, who cares? It's Mississippi State's head coach. They suck. This makes total sense. Well, the reason I bring it up is because Arnett here, he only had 1 year, and they gave him the boot. Seemed a little rush, at least to me. But hey, I'm not going to fault him too much, because if you know he's not your guy, get him out of there right now. But at the same time, he was put in what I'm going to label as an unfortunate situation. We all remember what happened last year at Mike Leach, RIP, don't even want to think about that. And ever since then, it's just been a weird position to be in if you're around that Mississippi State football team. I'll read you out this comment right here because I really like it. Really unfair situation this guy was in. He was not ready to be a head coach, but was basically thrown into the fire due to an unfortunate circumstance with the passing of Mike Leach. I hate it for the guy, but like the comment says right here, he wasn't ready for this job. But here's something really interesting we might talk about in the later days. Remember Dan Mullen? He currently doesn't have a job. Dan Mullen, the former head coach at Florida, for those of you that don't remember, he started out at Mississippi State. That'd make for an awesome story, and who knows, is there potentially a reunion in the future? I guess we'll have to wait and see. I want it to happen. I would love to see Dan Mullen back in the SEC. We'll see what happens there. But now finally moving on to the main topic, the main encore, the main reason you clicked onto this video. What's going on with good old Jim Harbaugh? Well, we all know what's been happening the past couple weeks. Not going to talk about that. If you don't know what's happened, well, you can go watch the previous 10 videos where we've already talked about it, because we've been covering it pretty closely. I actually had to do some research when I first saw this, because I had a couple people tagging it to me, and I thought it was fake. I can't emphasize that enough, because it just doesn't make any sense for Jim Harbaugh to say this whatsoever. And even if he thought it was true, which I have a hard time believing, but I guess he does think it's true, why would you come out and say this? Because you know the backlash that you were going to receive, especially from people like me. And what's going to happen is it's going to make people hate Michigan more than they already do. But I digress. Here's what he said word for word. He had the balls to get up here and state that Michigan has got to be America's team. Nope, it's not a joke. I'm not trolling you. Jim Harbaugh said that Michigan is America's team. I'm just shaking my head thinking about it. I don't want to get up here and scream and yell, but good gosh almighty, that's just straight up blasphemy. Michigan, America's team? Are you kidding me, Jim Harbaugh? Look, I got nothing against this current team, the players and the coaching staff whatsoever. I have no bad blood towards them. I'm wishing them the best of luck, but given the circumstances, this is probably the worst time to even come out and say that. Well, before I go any farther, let me give you some more context to this. So Jim Harbaugh believes that Michigan is America's team because they've overcome the odds, adversity, naysayers, and well, let me just show you the quote-unquote. This has got to be America's team. America loves a team that beats the odds, overcomes what the naysayers and critics, so-called experts, think. That's my favorite kind of team. And he's 100% right.
The perseverance, and then just the stalwartness of these guys. I mean, yeah, watching, I would have to say, everybody. It's got to be America's team. It's got to be America's team. America loves a team that beats the odds, beats the adversity, overcomes what the naysayers and critics, so-called experts think. That's my favorite kind of team. And yeah, watching it from that view on the television, it was finally people get to see what I see every day, in these players and these coaches.
He was right on that. That is what when I say we, I'm talking about the greatest country on earth, America, want to see. Greatest country in the world, there's no ifs, ands, or buts. And if you don't like it, well, guess what? You can leave. I absolutely love my country, and if you think it's so bad, I get sick and tired of people in America saying, oh, America's so bad. Well, guess what, buddy? If it's so awful, why don't you go somewhere else? Oh, yeah, that's right. You're not going to go anywhere else because you know America's the best. You just love to be a victim. Too many people out here love crying and complaining, oh, well, this ain't going. Shut up. America's the best. End of story. Getting back to this, yes, as an American, I can vouch for Jim Harbaugh. I love to see a team or a person or anybody in this life overcome adversity. I love it, man. I really do. But here's the problem with this, Jim Harbaugh. Michigan isn't overcoming adversity. No. You're not going to try to play victim with your boy Matt. You're not going to do it. Michigan has created these problems for themselves. Nobody did it to them. I get what he's trying to do. He's trying to guilt trip everybody into feeling bad for him, but it ain't going to work on me. Maybe it works on you, but not me. Jim Harbaugh is sitting up here talking like Michigan's winning games with a backup quarterback, and Michigan's winning games with 5 defensive starters down. He's trying to make it sound like everybody heading into the season doubted Michigan, and here they are. They're sitting at, 10-0? He's trying to make it seem like he's a 15 seed in March Madness that has beat the 2 seed, then the 7 seed, and they're heading into the Final Four. That right there, everything I just listed off, that's the definition of being America's team. However, for Michigan, none of that even applies to you. And like I said, guys, it just blows my mind he even had the balls to say this, because Michigan, you got caught cheating. Jim Harbaugh, whether you knew about this or not, I genuinely don't know, and I'm not going to say that he knew about it. But here's what I am going to say. It was happening. We proved it. You got caught in 4K, buddy. You got caught cheating and using something to your advantage that is illegal. Like I said, I'm not even accusing Jim Harbaugh of knowing about it, but it happened on your team. A staffer on your team was cheating, therefore Michigan had an unfair advantage. And here's the only thing I've said about Jim Harbaugh not knowing about it, and I continue to feel the same way. All I'm saying is, it's extremely hard for me to believe that you had a staffer, a guy that you've talked to a couple of times, was cheating, and you had no idea that none of this was going on. Jim Harbaugh is the head coach. It's just hard for me to fathom and even believe for a split second Jim Harbaugh was oblivious to all this and he didn't even know. But that's not the point. The point is, Michigan, you got cheating. You are actually the opposite of America's team. Currently, right now, as to where it stands, everybody hates Michigan, okay? It's not even up for debate. And if you don't hate them, you most certainly do not like them. And also, you are most certainly not rooting for them. I haven't seen a single person that is genuinely rooting for Michigan that's not a Michigan fan. I can't speak for all of you, but I have a good feeling a lot of people are in the same boat as me on this situation. I can't stand a cheater. There's 2 types of people in this life. I can't even talk to you anymore if you do this. Number 1, a cheater. And number 2, actually 3 people, a liar and a thief. I don't care if you steal a penny from me. I'll never talk to you another day in your life. Liars, thieves, and cheaters, and really thieves and cheaters are the same. Well, I guess they're not the same thing, but you get what I'm trying to say. I don't like those 3 types of people, and I'd be willing to bet 99% of you watching this video don't like them either. And if you don't know a lot about college football, let me give you some insight as to why most of us diehard college football fans are upset with Michigan and the whole sign stealing scandal. We're not upset that they were stealing some signs here and there. We're upset that they mess with the integrity of the game that we all love. It's about morals. It's about respect. And when you don't have those 2 things and integrity, so those 3 things, people hate it. It just rubs people the wrong way to even know that Michigan might have even had a 0.0001% edge over somebody else because they were stealing their signs. You can't mess with the integrity of the game of college football. It's not going to fly by. I know how college football fans are, and especially diehard fans, because I'm one of them. We're very passionate about this sport, so it is what it is. And I'll actually tell you this. I hope this gives you a better perspective. It's the same reason why people put an asterisk by the Houston Astros championship. I'll give you some context on me. I'm not even a casual. I'm below a casual MLB fan. I've probably watched in total the last 3 years maybe No, I actually, now I think about it, I have never watched an MLB game. That's kind of crazy. So on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being you don't even watch it, I'm probably a 1. I watch the highlights here and there and I look at who won the championship, but that's about it. With that being said, though, even me myself, I'm not invested into the MLB whatsoever. Yes, it left a sour taste in my mouth to find out the Houston Astros cheated. I was like, oh yeah, they're frauds. Championship don't count, at least in my book. So no, Jim Harbaugh, you're not America's team. In America, we don't like cheaters. Simple as that. I'm very curious. Let me know your thoughts on all this down below. But